He's a musician and now a politician. He joins me in studio. Nakorex, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How are you these days?
Well, very well and kicking. Trying to put one or two things together for us to rescue this country from the state capture and nation wreckers.
Wow. When did Rex Omar become a politician?
I've always been a politician, but I was playing my politics in the creative industry whilst still very active in music. But it got to a point where I realized that for the creative economy in this country to take the proper shape or take its share in the governance of this country, it was necessary for me to get into the frontline politics because everything starts with leadership, starts with policy, then it affects everything, you know. So it came naturally because I've been part of politics. I was with NDC since 1992. So to me, it came naturally.
And the reaction of the people, your fans, you have people of all walks of life or political shades that love your music. How did they react?
Some of them were very disappointed, not necessarily because I've gone into politics. Some of them because I've joined the NDC.
Right.
And then also they were expecting not only me. I mean, naturally, Ghanaians do not take people in the creatives serious. So they think that because you sing or because you act, you have nothing in here that can contribute to the socio-economic development of this country. So they say, oh, you band boy, musicians, blah, blah, I come with the winter now, politics, that kind of mentality. So it was necessary. I didn't bother when people were castigating and criticizing, whatever. Leadership is not an easy thing. I mean, a good leader is the one who has been able to lead both the willing and the unwilling. Okay. The end justifies the means. So at the end of the day, if my involvement in politics brings a positive impact in the development of this country and also to help the creative economy, I would have achieved my aim.
What kind of a person would you say Rex Omar is? I mean, the first time I had an opportunity to see you one-on-one was when I came for TV3 Bands Live. You were one of the judges. You know, we had a conversation and you had some very kind words for me. But who is Rex Omar beyond what we see on stage, the records we listen to? Who do you say you are?
People who are close to me say I'm a very humble, affable, and a straightforward person. I love Ghana so much. I love Ghana to a fault. So you are one of the reasons why I even went into politics.
Hey,
because
really?
if it wasn't for the way this country has neglected the creative economy, you wouldn't be sitting here. You would have been a musician because you are a very good one as such. But you see, one thing is, most people, when they get the talent in the creatives, no matter what you do, you fall within the creatives.
Right.
You are a musician. Here you are sitting in front of microphone. Don't you know radio and TV is also under the creative economy?
It is.
It is. You know, so the whole situation is, this is an industry that has been neglected for so long. Meanwhile, Ghana says we want to create jobs for youth and women. And creative economy is the answer. And then nobody was speaking, because culturally, anybody who finds himself in anything that has to do with creativity, you are doomed. Because if it is it's acting, concert for, if it is theater, by Sajo Kesiwe, if it is musician, Bamboy for, Kobolo for, if it's like everything that has to do with creatives. Even when you go to university and you want to do creative art, they say, dondology.
Fine arts.
The fine arts. They always have some negative connotation to anybody who
why
works.
is that?
It comes out of, I don't understand, because somebody goes to school, everybody wants his children to become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, and Ghana thinks that is a kind of respected profession.
Right.
But anything that has to do with creative, you are not respected. And it goes deeper into our subconscious. That's the reason why even the policymaker do not think that it is necessary for us to support, as a state, to support the creative economy. That's why we spend so much on football,
right?
And we spend nothing in the creative economy.
The president, Nanado, and his party at the time when they were campaigning had creative arts for change. He had the likes of Fredima, Apitus, you can name them. All the big wigs who, at the time, were in the public domain had gathered. They put together a nice portion of the manifesto, creative arts. They were going to build studios across. They were going to build theaters. They were going to have a creative art fund, What would be your assessment of all of those things? The meeting, the policy, the document, and then the power that was given to them and the delivery that has been given to the people?
It comes back to the very same thing I'm speaking about. Most creatives are used, and when they are used, they are dumped.
All right.
Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia has been in power for almost 8 years. What have they actually, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of all the promises that they gave, what have they been able to achieve? Have they been able to even build one theater? Have they been able to do anything that is visible for all the creative people to see that this is what they have done? Nothing.
Right.
I mean, as we sit 6 months to election, when you speak to them, we are doing amphitheater. I've visited some of the amphitheaters. It's
the one in the Ashanti region?
It's mediocre. I mean, you go to Culture Center, there's already an amphitheater there. You go and build another one, not bigger than the one that is already there. And it's laughable. It tells you how unserious and how the importance they put into this creative industry. I mean, when you talk about creative industry in Ghana, people just think that, it's musicians and filmmakers.
Right.
It goes way deeper beyond that. Any country this day and age that wants to develop and make any meaningful income and create jobs for its youth, and you neglect the creative economy, you are joking. 2023, creative economy made $198 billion, almost 10% of the global economy, GDP. China is the highest country that invested in the creative economy.
Right.
So, as a developing country that wants to create jobs for our youth, if we don't pay attention and if we are not intentional about this sector of our economy, we are joking.
The party that you support, NDC, I'm sure that they are looking at the pitfalls that the NPP has and they're putting together their own plans. Off the top of your head, if you had an opportunity to serve in any capacity, what would it be?
Our economy has been run down. How a lot of the youth are running away from this country. The youth that we need their energy and their zeal to develop this country because of bad leadership. They are all running away. If we are to slow down the pace of people running away, if we are to create jobs for the youth, to sustain them, to operate from this country, it will be the creative economy. Because that is the only way forward, and that is the low-hanging fruit we have for now.
Music rights and the collection of semen distribution is a big issue.
Yeah.
How do we fix it?
It all comes back to policy. So, for example, those we call prime users of music, radio, television.
Right.
Do they log? They don't. Do they pay? They don't pay. In whose authority that these music users and the prime music users or content users will be pushed to pay? It is the state. Because if everybody puts the blame on GAMRO is a small private organization regulated by the same state. If the legislation is there and there's no enforcement, nothing will happen. You see, so who gave 3 Music the license to operate?
Right.
When they gave you the license, did they put in the license that without paying royalties, your license will be seized.
Right.
No, because the state doesn't care. When they started sharing frequencies like sharing toffee, did they care about copyright? Did they care about other people's intellectual property? No. When anybody sets up a TV or radio station, you go and buy your equipment, you get your air conditions, you get your vehicles, you get everything. Nobody asks contents to you. Nobody gives you music. But the state that is supposed to protect the right owners of the country neglects that and leave all the responsibility in the hands of the right owner himself.
Okay.
That is the problem.
How did Rex Omar get into music?
I come from a music family per se, because my father was a medical doctor, but he was a better musician than myself.
I see.
And then he said he was not going to allow me to do music because he believes Ghanaians don't respect music. So he practiced medicine, but he was doing music as a hobby. And he wanted me to do that, and I disagree with him. So I decided to take my chances.
Okay. What do you mean?
To go full time in music, I mean, go into professional music as a music being a business, you know. But I believe that my father was right. That is why when I got to 40 years, I decided to put music on the second burner and go into business, and then also to go into the administrative aspect of the music industry.
Were you disappointed at some point?
Very. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why I got very disappointed. I believe that if there are 10 people in this country that God has granted the gift of music, I'm one of them.
Right.
I have not been able to come up with even 10% of what is in me. When I was pushing and I got the international openings and I was dealing with the global record labels and stuff like that, I had opportunity to do a tour with South Africa, Zibongeli Khumalo, may her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
And some few other international artists, one from Spain and others. So we were going through 5 European countries. Every country we got to, by the time we get to the airport, the embassy of that country have sent people to pick up their artists from the airport. They will come with branded vehicles and everything. And every country we got to, I realized that I was on my own. I saw front pages, full pages of the very artists that I'm performing with on the same stage. You open this, now you see a full page, Sibongeli Khumalo, blah, 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 sponsored by South African Airways, and then sometimes the embassy. So I was angry, and I was asking the organizer, why is it that we are on the same bill and you are promoting other artists without me? And they say, no, we are not doing it. It is their embassies.
Wow.
Their governments supported us to promote them. Then I said, did you go to my embassy? They say, yeah, we went there. They say, no, as for us, we don't do that. There's no budget for that.
Really?
Then I realized how naked I am as an artist. In fact, this thing really got to me. It made me very, very, it brought my spirit down. So when we came back from the tour, I had opportunity to do another tour. This time, 26 countries. So I went to Ministry of Tourism.
All right.
Those days it was, may his soul rest in peace,
Jake?
Jake.
Right.
And I went to see him. I said, Honorable, this is what is happening. I'm going around promoting Ghana. So I have a 26 country tour. My musicians were 12. I've gotten sponsorship. The money they are paying me can take care of 12 of them, 10 of them. Can the ministry sponsor 2? And give me whatever promotional items that even if the bag drop or whatever, we can use it to promote Ghana and whatever. Today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. He said they can sponsor one person, but even with the one person, I went to the tour for 5 months. I came back 2 months later before I was given something small. And even that something small, trust me, the ups and downs, I nearly left it. So this told me that if you're a musician in this country and you want to have any international, meaningful international breakthrough, and this thing that I'm talking about, every artist, every Ghanaian artist, right from the Sarkodie and all of them, if they have gone to the international scene, they will experience what I'm talking about. Because the system has neglected the industry so much so that you only can get to a certain level. For you to cross and become a mainstream artist, you realize that there's no support system.
Would you advise your children to do music?
Never. That's why none of my children is into music.
But they have it in them.
Yes, but I convinced them. I didn't impose it on them. I told them the truth for them to believe that if you play around with music as a Ghanaian, music will disappoint you.
Well, when I was growing up, my dad used to have cassettes of Nakorex. Yeah. And I always wondered how you, Nat Brew and Akosia Japan came together to form that group. I mean, the first song I played before the Keta interview was one of the songs that I could sing back to back then. I mean, I could sing all the songs on that. How did Nakorex come to be?
Nakorex, we were 3 individual artists, and then we happened to be under one manager.
Okay.
Mr. Smart Benite, and he was then the country agent for Balkan Airlines. And then he had taken the franchise of this dance competition that we used to do in Ghana, Double Do.
Double Do, yes, Embassy Double Do.
Yes, so he engaged us individually to perform along the Double Do program. And then after we finished the program, he decided to manage the 3 of us. So he took us on tour in Nigeria and other places. And then as we got together, the bond came. And then Amanziba suggested, sometimes it got to a point where we were broke young artists. Amanziba suggested that, look, everybody should bring 2 songs. Let's go to studio to record.
Right.
Because remember those days, when you are popular and you are in studio, the distributors are chasing you with money.
Right.
So we were doing the recording so to go and get some front money. So we came to this same place. Okay. Mr. Kwachi,
right?
Ghana Films, Mr. Kwachi recorded us, and by the time we finished the recording, we had Alaji Supercast.
Okay.
Brought us some front money to start distribution. In fact, none of us thought the music was going to be that big, and then boom, it became a big hit. So when we coined the name to put on the album, initially it wasn't like we are forming a group.
Okay.
It was like a kind of collabo. Bring 2 songs each and let's do the recording.
Because I noticed that none of you did, not all 3 of you did not do one song.
No, it was
your songs, Akosia
exactly.
Japan songs, Nat Brew songs.
So it's like kind of a compilation kind of stuff, you know. Because by then I had recorded my 3rd album, Awarepa, which was a major hit.
Right.
Amanziba has also released Ama.
Ama, right.
Was a major hit. And Akosua had also released Frema. That was another major hit. So the 3 of us were like a hot kick, you know. So we did 2 songs and it became a hit. Then we started performing together and then it became like a group, you know. When it got to a point where we had to go back to our individual artists to record our individual tracks and stuff like that, it became difficult. So that's how Nakorex came about.
Your energy on stage never dies. You're on stage, it's as if you have been possessed.
To me,
why is that?
I think to me, music is spirit. You know, when I'm on stage, I become a different person altogether. When I'm in a studio, I become a different person altogether. To me, it's a gift. Sometimes when people say, "Oh, Rex Omar, this song is blah blah," I don't actually create the songs; they come to me. You know, any true composer will tell you that most of the songs they write, they come to you because music.
They come from where?
They come from the ether. They come from nature. The musician is not this person speaking to you. The musician is a spirit that embodies. So the Rex Omar, the musician, is not the one talking to you.
Okay.
The one talking to you now is Rex Ousumafo. When I wear Rex Omar is a different ball game altogether.
Come Back Love, one of my favorites. The language in there, quite tricky, like something Lord Kitchener, who sing.
I listen wide.
Okay.
For you to, as I keep telling you, what you listen over and over and over, when the Spirit takes over, the Spirit has its own way of bringing something out of the lot that you've listened to and make it unique to yourself. I've seen myself several times watching myself performing.
Right.
And the song that I hear myself performing, when I wake up and I don't forget any of them, I realize that it was me that was performing in spirit
to yourself,
to myself.
And that song becomes a hit? That song
becomes a hit. Anytime I have any song like that, it becomes a hit.
So Abiba, Come Back Love,
Dada Dida, Awarepa, all those stuff,
Pamoesela.
Yeah, you see those songs.
There was one that you sang about Africa. Are we serious, Africa? What inspired that song?
You see, Africa, we have a leadership problem. Simple things that are supposed to make our life even easier becomes complicated. Simple things like living in our own areas, like ECOWAS territory. Trust me, if you want to drive from Ghana to Nigeria, it's not very far.
Right.
But the problems you encounter at the border makes it even unattractive for you to even try to take that journey. And I ask myself, why? Why can't we trade among ourselves? Why? Even this after that we are doing the Continental Free Trade of Africa, how can you trade among yourself if you don't remove the barriers? How? If you can't allow the people to be freely to move within African continent, you live on African continent, but when you are traveling to another African country, you have to go and get a visa. Whilst an American or a Canadian just pick his passport and come to any African country they want. Where is our leadership? So I look at some of these things and I just have to write about them.
You don't look your age. So you've looked like this, so people don't know if you are aging or you are not aging. What is the secret?
I think it is a gift because, yes, you're right. Sometimes I ask myself these questions. I still feel like I'm 35. I'm still very energetic. I think like a baby. So most of I play with young people, I listen to them and all that. And I'll be 60 next year. Sometimes when I'm with my children and we are talking, I forget that they are my children. Because I think it is because of the music. Because I'm in most of the time within my spiritual elements.
Okay.
I'm somebody who I'm always moved with intuition. Even here, as I sit here talking, some of the things I'm not thinking, they are coming. Because I don't depend on my physical essence. I always depend on my spiritual essence. So, because the physical side will always make you make mistakes and all those things. So,
are you vegetarian?
I'm not vegetarian, but I don't eat much.
Okay.
I don't. I eat meat, but once in a while.
Okay.
And then sometimes I do fasting. I like light foods, and I don't harbor resentment, and I don't allow anybody to push me to do what I'm not convinced to do. So I'm a very simple person. I'm a simple, down-to-earth man. Money is good, but to me, money is not everything. I've tasted poverty, I've tasted wealth, and I don't care. I live above all those things.
Rex Omar, the star, and the ladies. Do you have a story? The ladies coming to you.
Yes.
Starstruck.
Yes.
They wanted a piece of Rex Omar.
But you see, I got married very early. Because when I saw these things coming, one thing that I convinced myself with was, okay, so let me get married as quickly as possible. Because the way the fame is coming, if I don't get married now, it will be difficult for me. Because I wouldn't know who truly cares.
Right.
I got married at age 24.
Whoa.
I had nothing. But I don't know, sometimes I ask myself, so where was that vim coming from that I felt that, no.
At 24, I have to go.
I'll marry, I can take care of it. Meanwhile, I had nothing.
It's called Takashi.
I had nothing. And I remember my wife's mother. She was in England, and then some people went to tell her that some bum boy is chasing her daughter. So, because of me, they took my wife from Ghana for over 2 years, so as to be able to. But to me, I didn't just saw her somewhere and say I'm going to marry her. No, I don't do my things like that. Right. The day I saw her, I knew this was my wife.
Okay.
So, we were together for 4 years, and I didn't know anything about her. Didn't touch her, nothing. We were just. So when the time came that we got married, we are still together till today.
I see. With how many children?
4.
4 children.
Now they are no longer children.
You call them
I used to call them mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Now I had one grand mosquito, but the children have grown.
Okay. They're all big. What do you do to relax?
Music.
Music. Whose music? Your music?
My music. I listen to a lot of stuff, and then I sleep very early, but no matter how late I sleep, by 3 a.m., I'm up. That's the time I do my meditations and then sit down through the meditation, then songs are coming. Some of the songs that have come, but I'm trying to get it fixed properly. And some of the times I get the fixes, and so that is the time I relax. And then sometimes too, I like traveling and I like driving.
Okay.
So sometimes if I want to relax, I just create a trip for myself and I just drive. And I'm a fast driver, so when I'm driving fast, unfortunately our roads are not good. Driving makes me relax.
But we have had a year of roads, another year of roads, second year of roads, and all of that. You didn't fix the roads. Your government didn't fix the roads, and that the roads have been fixed by the government.
Please, these are slow slogans. I mean, MPP, they are very good. That one, I'll give it to them. They are very, very good with sloganeering. They have a lot of powerful slogans, but nothing to write home about. I mean, sometimes I ask myself, a government that since independence, right from Nkrumah's time to 2016, Mahama's time, Ghana had a debt portfolio of 120 billion Ghana cedis. Within 7.5 years, this government has borrowed over 500 billion. If you add to the 120, 600, getting to 700 billion Ghana cedis. But I ask myself, what have these people used the money for? I want to see one visible infrastructure that I can say, I've traveled around the country, but you can't see them.
Really?
Look,
you can't see any of the TVET schools, STEM schools?
Please. You see, the thing is, talking is simple. I dare you, pick a camera. They'll tell you, oh, it's at 80% completion. It's at, so for Christ's sake, we have 6 months to election. And look at this country, the most busiest road in this country is the Accra-Kumasi road.
Right.
And please, go drive on that road and see.
Kwasi stretch towards the Nsoam stretch.
Even that one, we say it is under construction. But after that,
right.
Anytime you travel, sometimes, no wonder why we have so many accidents. You know, some of them, they are not potholes. They are actually manholes. I've hit some of them several times that either your tie get bust or whatever. And it's very, very scary. You know, look, where have they used, what have they used these monies for? You know, you can't see anything. John Mahama's 120 million debt portfolio, at least visibly, we can see Terminal 3.
Terminal 3, right.
We can see Ho Airport. We can see Rich Hospital. We can see Circle Dubai. We can see Obechebi Lamte. We can see so many hospitals.
Is that why you are pitching the people of Ashanti against the MPP? Because you were asking them to ask themselves what had been done
I'm
for
not
them.
pitching them. I am one of them. And my question, I was I was born and brought up in Ashanti region.
Okay.
My neighborhood is Ashtown, Krofrum, and Swami. That's my neighborhood.
Right. Really central.
Very, very central. So, look at Swami roundabout. Osei Mensa has been a parliamentarian for this area for so long. Kufuor's time, 8 years, they couldn't do Swami. Osei Akufo-Addo's time, getting to 8 years, they couldn't do Swami. Kufuor started Krofrom Market.
Right.
My grandfather had a carpentry shop, and he was the only person who were building pulpits for churches. Everybody who knows me knows that my grandfather was working at Krofrom Market. They sacked all of them that they were going to build the market up till today. Nothing has happened. You go to Ofori Krom, the Araga Junction, overhead. Nothing has happened there. So you ask yourself, you are the people who are voting for these MPP people to come to power. They come to power, they don't do anything. Just like Napo said, oh, as for Ashanti people, you give them T-shirt and you are done.
He said that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know, now, just to post that one to John Mahama, who came for just 4 years. Anybody around my age knows how KJTR used to be. Now, there's an Osha Modern Market there. Kumasi Airport, Phase 1, was done by John Mahama. These E-block schools, Ashanti region alone had 12. Some of them completed, some of them at over 80% completion. The hospitals that John Mahama built in Ashanti region, at least I know Bekwai. The Seria one that he started, he wanted to do this 37 hospital, another one in Kumasi. All the water projects that he did, with all these things, you voted for Akufo-Addo and his MPP. No problem, no wahala. This is the government that came and has borrowed 5 times more than what John Mahama borrowed. And all these things that I'm talking to you about that has been done in Kumasi by John Mahama came out of the 120 million. But you people and your government have borrowed over 500 and something billion and still have nothing to show. I want somebody to show me a single project, infrastructure project, visible infrastructure project in Ashanti region.
You're throwing a challenge
I'm throwing a challenge to them, my own people. Most sorry, I must say, a friend say, Asantemai, yen yina pa Asantemai nkoso. Asantefo ne ye kan yasem se obi pade e de akokotokwa ye nya na bro. Na se mato aba ama MPP. Na se wa ma mpade amfa makotokwa. Why do you continue to vote for them? We are supposed to be smart.
The number of multi-dimensional poor people is the highest in the Ashanti region, with some 959,031, followed by the northern region of 873,742, and lowest in the Afro region, 135,000 people, 644. This is the Ghana Statistical Service. So the Ashanti region has the highest number of poor people. Style, BAB, transport, they are poor. Accommodation, they are poor. Feeding, they are poor. Clothing, they are poor. education, everything, everywhere. Still be their poor. This is record that was given to us about 2 days ago, right? What do you say?
Am I surprised? No, I'm not. And this is the reason why I'm ranting. This is the reason why, in fact, this campaign, I'm going to spend all my time in Ashanti region. Because Sabi in Predbiasa. Yen to me, San Tanasi, Yan Hufri Yanimun Kosro. Sabi, when you be a Mawasia, your monochrono.
But the MPP says the alternative is scary. That's John Mahama is scary because he has had his chance, so he should go.
They can have their say. That's what they are good at. They are liars, scammers. That's one question I want to ask Baumia. 2020 election, 8 Ghanaians lost their lives. Most of them were from the Zongus. Akufo-Addo the himself on the Umu Ghana for and he has not said a word about it. Baumia is going around that they should vote for him. What has he said about the 8 Ghanaians that died? The win the election, but the vice president. You know? I'm throwing a challenge to the Muslims and the people living in Zongus. I've heard people complaining, don't let the politicians use you. The people who died in 2020 elections, what has Baumia said about it?
Would you compose a song for Dr. Baumia if he brought you a contract to do it as a musician?
I don't need his money because most of the money she's sharing is stolen. I don't need his money.
How did you come by that?
Because what is his salary? What is Baumia's salary? How many of you knew Baumia as a millionaire before he became the vice president?
He was the deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana.
Deputy governor.
That's a well-paid job.
Deputy governor of Bank of Ghana. What was his salary? How long was he the deputy governor? How much was his salary? Let's compare that and see the money he's throwing away like left, right. Are you surprised why our city has been devalued? Look, 2022, Bank of Ghana lost 60.5 billion. 2023, they've lost 10 point something billion. They are just printing the money and sharing. They print the money, they change it into foreign money. Some of them are putting in their houses and they are under their beds and whatever. Cecilia Dapa is a typical example. Cecilia Dapa, the Yehu. Now, the Yehu is where?
Is the musical tone of Ghana changing? I mean, we seem to be adopting a piano here and the Nigerian taste. And are we losing our tone?
We have always not been original. Ghanaians, anything Ghanaian is not good enough for the Ghanaian. It is a sad situation. Anything Ghanaian is not good enough for the Ghanaian.
I don't understand.
Okay. Anything that is created in Ghana, Ghana for better, I don't know whether it's out of Ahoya or whatever. So they rather will go and chase something that is coming from somewhere and poo-poo something that came out from within them. That is what we have become. In business, in academia, in creative economy, whatever it is. It is something that Ghana, we have to change our mindset. Look at the global geopolitics. Geopolitics that is going on.
Right.
Now, America is saying that free market. Now they are saying that China is overcapacity. China is overproducing. China is overdeveloping. So they want to do what? They want to suppress China by putting sanctions. Ghana, the market is free. The very people who impose so-called free market economy on us, now they have started protectionism. And your market. Look at what happens on our TV screens. We bring foreign soap operas and we use voiceover to speak Twi on them. Do you know what we are doing to ourselves?
What do you think of the FDA's recent success at the Supreme Court over banning the celebrities and well-known persons from alcoholic adverts?
I think it's wrong. I'm not a lawyer, and the Supreme Court ruling, no, I will not challenge them, but I completely disagree with them. First and foremost, are we saying alcohol is bad? If alcohol is bad, ban it. Are we talking about alcohol? And now we are talking about alcohol abuse. Then if you are saying that celebrities promote alcohol, it will have negative impact on society. What about drugs? I a ton of pharmacies, you know. Don't they advertise?
They are.
So if somebody goes and abuse drug, will you blame the person advertising it? And don't you think that even if you had a way out, rather than you should maybe come and say, when you are using celebrities to advertise alcohol, let them say that people under 18 years shouldn't do it. The whole situation is, I don't get it. Everything, too much of everything is bad. Even water. If you overdrink water, it's harmful. If you overeat, it's harmful.
Right.
If you abuse any alcohol, it's harmful. Even if you oversleep, it's harmful. Who determines who is a celebrity? Who determines that? I was here, I heard the argument.
You are a celebrity, are you not a celebrity? You are well known.
I may be a celebrity to some people. I'm not a celebrity to my children. I'm their father.
Right.
If I go to my village, my family knows me as Kwam Mafo. Maybe to some Ghanaians, I'm a celebrity.
But at home, you are their brother and nephew.
Exactly.
And father.
So if some years are the way, it's clear, say, you are taking business out of some people's mouths.
Does Rex Omar know how to cook?
Very well.
What do you cook?
Anything. I can cook jollof, I can cook fried rice, I can cook fufu, banku, whatever. You know, me, I'm a hustler. So,
so you can cook very well.
I can cook very, very. Recently, my wife wasn't feeling well, and I took her to the hospital. And then she was, I want some light soup and blah, blah, blah. Then I said, okay, don't worry. So I left her in the hospital. And she thought that I was going to maybe call one of my daughters or whatever. Within 2 hours, I've done her some nice pepper soup with some fufu. Then when I took her to the hospital.
You did a walker?
Yes.
On your own?
No. So she's, no. I did the stuff and my daughter helped me to pound the pound. Then when I sent it to her, I said, why did you get this fufu so fast? I said, have you forgotten that when we got married, I was cooking for you? I said, wow. So I know how to cook very, very well.
Will you ever go back to the studio to record?
I'm always in the studio. I've not stopped writing. I've not stopped recording. But it's like right now, I'm doing it at my pace.
Okay.
I will always be a musician. I want to die a musician. So I'm doing it because you see, when the music comes and you don't fixate it,
right,
you die with it. So as soon as it comes, I write it down, I do a demo, and at my own pace, I go to studio, lay the tracks and whatever, so that.
So are we to expect an album from you soon?
I have more than album.
Okay.
But to release it, I'm thinking somewhere next year or whatever.
After the elections.
After the elections, because right now, from this time to the December campaign season.
Have you met John Mahama?
John Mahama has been my friend for a long time. A long time. So I meet him when it's necessary, when it's very, very necessary. You know, so I don't go to
Has
him.
he promised you anything?
I don't need him to promise me anything. Whatever I have to contribute for him to come back, for his next government to be successful, that's what I'm doing. I don't expect anything.
Will we ever see you in Parliament as a member of Parliament?
No, I will not. The reason why I will not is not because I can't contribute to Parliament. I can contribute to Parliament, but where I'm coming from, most of the seats are for MPP.
You mean the Ashanti region?
Ashanti region. And then where I've been living in Accra too, I live among Akan area, and it makes it difficult.
But you are Akan.
I'm an Akan, but I'm Akan in an NDC. And people have this psyche that MPP is a Akan party. So which area any area that you have a lot of Akans, fighting for the seat is difficult. And the second reason why I don't want to go to Parliament, parliamentarians are suffering too much in this country.
How?
And I'll tell you why. I've had a couple of friends who are parliamentarians.
Okay.
And the pressure the society put on them. They go to their campaigns, they are not able to tell the people that they are not agents of development, they are agents of lawmaking. So you go to their houses and you see queues. Ebinum pesca koye wedding, ebinum pesca kohan dying, ebinum pesca koye this and this and this and that. It puts a lot of pressure on them. So if you are not very careful, you don't want to lose your seat. So you may end up doing things that you don't want to do. My spirit cannot stand that.
We have to go. If I decide to play one of your own songs for you, which will it be?
Incredible Ghana.
Incredible Ghana. Okay, we'll find that for you. But your closing thoughts, what are you leaving us with?
What I'm saying is, Ghana is a blessed country. Only that for the past 8 years, we have had a very bad leadership. Leader who doesn't care about his people, who cares about his own self-aggrandizement. Everything that he accused Mahama of, he's doing it 10 times. They did not come to govern this country. They came to make themselves wealthy at the expense of the country. I'm asking every Ghanaian that if you really care about this country and the future of your children, John Mahama is the answer for now. Let us vote for John Mahama. And then we are not just voting to go and sit and watch him do it. No one person can do it. Let us help him to win and take the reins of this country and continue to help him to set this country on the right course. This is what I'm asking every well-meaning Ghanaian who cares about this country, because where we are now, it's not safe.
Our birthday celebrants would want a nice birthday song from you. What would you say? A nice a cappella from Rex Omar, the legend, for their birthday.